Hello, I'm David Campany, and I'm a writer and a curator and a photographer, and welcome to my Apocalypse Pictures. My first choice of image was made in 1920, and it has a curious origin. It's a photograph of dust on a sheet of glass, and it's quite abstract, and it's by Man Ray. So the glass belonged to Marcel Duchamp, and it was in his studio in New York, and he left the windows open because he wanted dust to gather on this sheet of glass. And the plan was then to clear the dust away from just a few small areas and then to secure the dust with varnish as a way of trapping time. In his memoir, Man Ray says that he opened the shutter, went out for lunch, came back, closed the shutter, processed the film that night, and said it was perfect. And the photograph came to be called Dust Breeding. Something ongoing, and in a way, although you can't see dust breeding, it must be if it was a long exposure. The first images that really fascinated me when I was a teenager were film stills. I adored cinema, and a few years ago, in a flea market here in London, I found a news photograph that was taken on the set of a film. And when I bought the still, I immediately recognized the presence of Alfred Hitchcock, fat tummy. He always used to wear quite a short tie when he was a young man. And he's in the middle of making a film, and it seems to be a scene, a kind of North African scene in a marketplace. But as you pull out from looking at that, you realize that it's a set, and in the background, you can see very English suburban houses. But it's a world of production, and it's full of all of the details that you would find not just in a real place, but also on a film set. There even seems to be a man striding across the bottom of the frame, biting his nails in a dark suit, and he just looks to me like a nervous producer. I don't know if he is worrying whether the film is going over production. There's a figure in the background just sitting on a parked rickshaw. That figure is not in the film. I really like the idea that photographs have unexpected lives. Someone throws them away, someone else picks it up, does something else with it, gives it a kind of renewed energy, a renewed significance. A few years ago, I was asked by a publisher if I would consider writing a whole book on a single photograph. And I thought I could do that in response to Jeff Wall's Picture for Women. The photographer himself is holding a cable release, and there's a woman present in the shot. But you don't really know what's going on between them. You don't know if this is a classic artist and his model scenario. You don't know if they're both colluding in some strange ritual. I'm not even convinced the photograph was even taken in a mirror, although everyone who writes about this picture will tell you it is taken in a mirror. But also the photograph is a transparency, which is mounted in a light box, and light comes from behind. Most of the time when we look at photographs, they're opaque surfaces and light bounces off the front. But this emits light. So I'll take it into my bunker because I can actually use it to illuminate the room as well. One of the most interesting aspects of photography for me is that I think good work can be made in any context. So I've chosen an image that was made specifically for a record cover. It's by Jason Evans, and it was made as the gatefold sleeve for Fortet's album, There Is Love in You. And in this case, Evans went to all of the digital labs, commercial labs in the centre of London, and retrieved those little technical tests that they print out every day to make sure their printers are working. He then pinned them on his studio wall, photographed them on 5x4 inch negative, and then got a hole punch out, punched holes from the negative, arranged these little coloured discs on a sheet of glass, put the sheet of glass in the enlarger, and then made a very traditional colour photographic print. So when you look at it, it's a complete mix of the analog and the digital. It's a completely gorgeous colour field image. 10 years ago, I began a project with Polly Braden, who I subsequently married. The project went well. And we were making an extensive documentation of the Lee Valley in East London, which comes all the way down from Bedford to the Thames opposite the Millennium Dome. And one morning we were up the river towards Stamford Hill. There's a scene of ruin. I love the fact that the three boys have looked up and have automatically posed. It seems all children know how to pose these days. There's one girl and with sun on her golden hair, and she's not noticed us. She's completely oblivious, and she's carrying on, moving through this pile of rubbish on the road. One boy seems to be holding the nozzle of a vacuum cleaner like a gun. He looks like he's out of Belfast in about 1972. There's a boy, he's holding a shovel, so he looks like he's here to clear things up. He's also got some kind of paperwork under his arm, and he looks like a mini council official. All of this is entirely accidental. The photograph was made in a matter of seconds, and you never know when you're making a picture quickly if it's going to work or not. But this one did.
I think having a picture taken is a very, very intimate and it's a very unique experience.